Hello, I'm Ace of Clubs Kid, and today I'm going to be doing a review for Skullcandy's Rock Nation Aviator headphones. You can see, what they look like. I'm basically going to be going over several different things, comparing these to Beats by Dr. Dre, the Solos and the Solo HDs, and just kind of telling you a little bit about what I think about them. Starting off, let's go with the looks. Design would be the more correct term. These are a very low profile for Skullcandy in terms of they don't have their logo all over them. Really, there's only two Skullcandy logos, and those are on the headband here. Pretty much count those as one. And then there's one on the inside, which you can't even really see if you're wearing them, of course. Obviously, if they're on your head, then people can't really see that. So there's really only two visible ones, and there's also one inside the ear cup. I don't know why. Hold on. Let me get this so you can actually see that. Hopefully you can see that. Let me go to the other one. There we go. Okay, now you can see it. Have to fiddle around with these lights sometimes. But, yeah, so, I mean, there's only really two visible logos. And, yeah, so that's really low profile. The other thing is these are sponsored by Jay-Z, who is the owner of Rock Nation. And, they are sponsored by them. They had a pretty big say in these headphones. But they're also not selling the name. There's not big, they're not all over them or anything. Very, very subtle. You can see here, trying to look at the orientation. Alright, so right here, you can see there's one. These are basically the only Rock Nation logos on there. Just, they're on the lenses, on the sides, and there's one above here. Same thing. Above there. It's the same basic plate. One plate on side says Skullcandy, the other says Rock Nation. Very, very subtle. So I really like that. It kind of gives the feeling of not being cheapened by having a logo all over them, which I never really liked a whole lot. Showing off any logo really. So yeah, that's about it for the design. You can make of them what you will. One thing you may have already seen this. I'm sure you have, but when they're in the light, you can actually see right through the lenses, which is a really, really neat feature, and I think that's a big reason these look so good, at least in my opinion, that they look really good. They do come in also a white and a brown color. The brown has kind of golden accents instead of the silver, or chrome, if you want to call it. The white, you cannot see through the lens. It's just basically opaque. As for comfort, which is another very important aspect of headphones, these are extremely comfortable. Due to the fact that they're really light and they have memory foam, a lot of memory foam, on each of the ear cups. You can see that's pretty thick. Really squishes in, makes it really comfortable on your ears. And seeing as these are an over-ear design, it really makes for a lot of comfort, no pressure on your ears whatsoever, and I feel like you could listen to these for hours and still be really comfortable. As for the top, some people may be kind of worried about this headband up here. It's very thin. I'm pretty sure it's made out of real leather. And basically, some people may be worried that because it's so thin, it doesn't really provide a lot of comfort. Well, this isn't true. Because the headphones are so light and there's so much cushion here, that it doesn't really, you don't feel it at all. It's not uncomfortable, and it's, I've actually forgotten that I was wearing these before. If I didn't have music on, I'd be, just reach up and be like, not really remember them. Also, when they're around your neck, I was curious about this before I bought them, which is why I went to Best Buy to check this out. When they're around your neck, they're comfortable. I remember with the Skullcandy Hesh, they were kind of like pressed up against your neck like this, and it was not comfortable to wear them like that. And they would pretty much have to be like on your head, just kind of like that, or up or something. But these you can just rest on your neck when you're not using them. Let's get into some of the materials that are put into this. There's basically three main materials, and those are polycarbonate, aluminum, and stainless steel. Stainless steel is basically that's all of this metal frame that you see around here, the wire, these two wires here that go throughout the entire headphone. They, go down here as well. That's all one solid piece of stainless steel. Or actually, that's not technically true, but it looks like one solid piece. But yeah, steel. And as you can see, these are very flexible, strong headphones. You can really bend them around quite a lot, and you don't have to worry about them snapping or anything, because they have kind of a, I want to use the word metal exoskeleton. Yeah. As for this part is aluminum on the side, this big thick hinge, which is really nice that the hinge has so much protection. Usually the hinge is the weakest part of the headphones, and due to this modification, it's now one of the strongest parts. Actually, technically the strongest part is this lens on the side, because this is made of polycarbonate, and that's a very strong material. Really, you can hit that all day. It's not really going to scratch or anything. It is kind of prone to fingerprints, as you may be able to see, but there is a cleaning cloth, which I have in the bag right here. Here's the bag. I'll go over this just briefly. It's simple. It does have a lot more Rock Nation Aviator, or a lot more Rock Nation logos on it, as you can see. But even those are inside. And the bag itself does have a couple skullcandy logos. Inside of here there is the cleaning cloth, or there should be, unless it fell out. There it is. Alright. And that's that. Just a microfiber cleaning cloth. I'll just kind of polish these off so they look nice. And yeah, one pair of headphones that the cleaning cloth is really useful for, because they're so shiny. Let's get into probably one of the most important things, sound. I'm going to start off with noise cancellation. I grouped this together with sound. As for that, they don't cancel out sound like amazingly well, but they definitely dull it down. Like right now it feels weird to be talking. I would use the comparison like you're underwater, kind of, is what it sounds like. Meaning you can still hear around you. I mean, noting that I'm not playing any music right now. It's kind of like underwater, like I said. You can still hear things around you, but it's kind of dulled and distorted. But once you turn them on, the sound is definitely not distorted. It's very clear, crisp, and it just sounds fantastic with whatever you're listening to. I was very impressed by these, because I would listen to dubstep, and it would have plenty of bass. It would really do the music justice and sound just fantastic. And then I would switch over to a song that had like a lot of mids and highs, like even bass mids and highs, like a song by Sublime, Santeria, and that song's like all over the place, and these headphones handle them. The highs aren't too sharp, the bass isn't too overpowering, so that you can't hear the mids and highs as well, and they're just very well balanced. And I am going to be comparing these to Beats later on in my review, as I mentioned. And I mean, they're just the best headphones that I've listened to, especially for this price. I mean, I went to Best Buy before I bought these and tried out some other headphones for the price, just to kind of get an idea of how these were. And I gotta admit, these are some of my favorite in terms of overall comfort, sound quality, and design. They're just fantastic. I think if you like the looks of them, and if you've gone to try them and honestly gone through a couple different songs, then you'll agree with this. Assuming that you're not that you hate skullcandy and you just say that they're gonna be crap no matter how good they are. In which case, whatever. So now we're going to talk about these versus Beats, the Solos and the Solo HDs. As I just said, I did compare these to some other headphones in the ballpark of $150. I should mention that I only got these for $50 because I got a warranty on the skull crushers that I had. Basically, the right ear cup blew out, and I sent them in. They gave me $88 to spend, and I also found a 10% off coupon, which basically got these for $50. Kind of off topic there, but basically, I compared these to the Beats by Dre, the Solos and the Solo HDs, when I went to Best Buy, and I gotta admit, I'm gonna have to say this, it's pretty controversial, but I do like these more than the Beats by Dre. Some of you are probably shouting at your computer, I'm an idiot, how on earth could these sound better than Beats? They're more expensive, they're sponsored by Dr. Dre, and all this, whatever. They're so popular. Honestly, Beats are really expensive. They're overpriced because they have Dr. Dre's name on them. And they're not even that comfortable. Compared to these are very comfortable. I'm sure you could wear them for hours, and they would not be uncomfortable at all. There is a couple things that Beats have that these don't. For example, the style. If you're into that kind of more modern style, these are definitely more classic. I actually wore these once with like a suit and a vest, and it looked really good with the whole look. So that's kind of interesting. And Beats are really just more like for the casual, wearing jeans and stuff, just looking really casual and cool. It's kind of the new design for headphones, is what they're going for. These are obviously, like I just said, more classic. And, they do have the removable cord, but as for the cord, they do have this control talk. It's called that on the Beats. On this, it's called Mic 3, and you can see it's basically the same thing. It's not really a copy, it's just this is being used for lots of other headphones, and it's pretty much fair game at this point to use that technology. As for the cable, I will say, it is pretty resistant to tangling. I have found a little bit, like, you can get these kind of loops that happen, just like that, and that can happen sometimes just because it's nylon, but they're easily fixed. You pretty much just have to run your hand down the cable, and that's it, if that even bothers you. They don't change the sound or anything. It's not like it cuts in and out because it's like that. I think it's a really interesting cable. It's kind of fun to play around with, and, all that stuff. Just tie it around. So I think, definitely thinner, but it's deceptive because it doesn't get tangled very well, and it just does its job. It doesn't need to be really thick red cable. Back to more comparing to the Beats. Beats, for about, assuming, let's just first talk about the Solos. For $30 more, let's look at what you're getting. You're basically getting some nicer looking headphones that have more bass. I'll admit that. They do have more bass, but it does kind of distort the other music, the other basically mids and highs. And they're really mostly good for listening to rap and, dubstep or whatever else has a lot of bass to it. And, if you listen to music with a lot of bass, then sure, go ahead and go with those. If you don't want to, if you really are, if you really want to go for that more modern look, and you really want a lot of bass, and you don't really care that they're not very comfortable, you want them more for the style, and you're going to be not wearing them for a whole long time anyways, then you should go with those. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that they're bad headphones. I would like to get a pair, but, they're just so dang expensive. Like I said, I got a deal on these. Compared to the Solo HDs, you get two cables, pretty much very similar sound quality to the Solos, pretty much the same point supply. But I will mention that one of the great things about these is you do get a lifetime warranty. I forgot to say that that's basically why I was able to get these, because the Skull Crushers, because those broke, I was able to get these. If these ever break, which I doubt that they will, because they're built so well, then I'll be able to maybe even upgrade to a higher, better headphone even. Skullcandy is going to be releasing the Mixmaster mics, which are $250. They're going to be releasing those around December, I believe. And yeah, just kind of a thought to throw out there. Overall, I think if you're looking at buying these, you will not be disappointed. They're just a great headphone. I really think they're great for any use that you want for them. And I'm going to make an update, and I'll post the unboxing that I already did for this. So basically, I'd give these headphones a 9.5 out of 10, just because 10's kind of, too high of a rating, really, for anything, I'd say. Bit too high expectations. Anyways, if you have any other questions about these that I didn't get to, which I think, seeing as I spent about 16 minutes talking about these, I think that I got about everything out of the way. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope that I did these headphones justice in this review, and I'll see you later.